Yo, 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 this is Shoot Sessions Podcast, Episode 2. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm your host, OJ, with the always handsome and debonair Doza.
Thank you.
How you doing, sir?
I'm good. I didn't expect you to say that.
Well, I like to change it up every week.
Okay, every week I'm going to figure out.
But I only speak the truth, though.
Okay, cool.
All right, so how you doing?
I'm doing great, man. How are you doing? I haven't seen you since last
week.
Did this,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Been trying to talk about.
We got a lot to talk about,
we do.
man. We have a lot to talk about. For those out there listening to this podcast, get ready. Get ready. We got a lot to talk about. SummerSlam was this past Sunday. 4-hour show. Great 4 hours. We got some good. We got some bad. We got some opinions. We got some stuff to talk about.
Yeah.
NXT was on Saturday as well as at the Barclays Center. That was a good 2 hours, man. Like, I don't know if you were able to catch it.
No, I did. I saw all of it. It
Oh,
was great.
we're going to talk about that too. We're going to throw in some Raw because a lot of things happened as well.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of things that will change the landscape, at least for the next pay-per-view. So let's get into this, man.
Okay, man.
Let's start it up. So again, SummerSlam was August 23rd, last Sunday. Started at 4 p.m. for those of you that were watching it Pacific time. The intro showed us Jon Stewart being the host. Brought in Mick Foley.
Yep.
Which was a cool kind of thing. I always like seeing
I like
Mankind.
when the legends come out. And I love Mick Foley, obviously. But I don't know. That bit was like whatever to me.
Yeah, it was kind of thrown in. I think they figured they would have some extra time, so they kind of threw that in. Didn't really have any purpose, but again, it's always good to see Mick Foley, especially in Barclays Center. So it was good. First match: Randy Orton versus Sheamus. Good opening match. We were wondering last week who was gonna start off the pay-per-view. So it was Randy Orton, Sheamus. Good two guys to start it off.
Yeah, I feel that. Like, I guess going into this, how I said last week, how I think they're gonna put on a good match, good show, but am I looking forward to seeing it? Like, not really, because there was really no heat going into that match for that matchup. So I think they placed it right at the beginning, and that was a good choice.
Yeah.
And that made me wonder if maybe he'd run in for the Money in the Bank eventually.
Yeah, I think it was good because they're both good known workers, and the crowd was going to get into it because you always want to start it off with people that you want to start it off well with. So again, we talked about it last week. Orton doesn't have bad matches, so this was a pretty good match. Ended with a pinfall by Sheamus after 2 brogue kicks, one in the corner and then one right off the ropes. Took about 12 minutes.
Yeah, it was a pretty short match.
So
got it out the way quick.
Yeah,
and people are excited.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad. I like the spot on from Randy Orton, Sheamus flying over the top rope into an RKO.
RKO out of nowhere. Yeah,
we love us some RKO over here, man.
You needed one of those moments, especially at the beginning of the show, to get the crowd like, oh yeah, cool.
Yeah, it was really good. So before we go on, actually, we talked again last week about keeping score. So one thing we want to do here at Shoot Sessions is we want to do a tally. So we're going to go through each pay-per-view. We're going to talk each pay-per-view, preview the Friday before, and then, of course, a review, which we're doing today. So we'll go through the matches. You'll pick yours. I'll pick mine. We'll figure out who gets the win on that. And then, I don't know, maybe in 4 years, we'll compile everything and see where we're at. But I actually took Sheamus, kind of on a guess. You took Orton, probably on a guess. So that's
okay.
I'm up 1-0, and that's I'm not going to spoil anything, but I'm going to enjoy this 1-0 because I don't think I'm going to enjoy the rest of this pay-per-view as far as my choices.
So I'm interested to see who won.
Oh, I got it.
Okay, cool.
I got everything in front of me. Don't you worry.
We'll have to do this by the end of the year. Who won the most? And
okay.
We'll figure out.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. We'll figure out some double dares to do for the loser. We'll go with that. So this match was it wasn't a great match. It was an okay match. especially for Randy Orton standards. I don't think it was a superb match. I think he had a better match at WrestleMania with Seth Rollins.
Oh yeah,
But
without a doubt.
but the way that I was thinking last week was this was mainly for, the two to fight. They fought at the last pay-per-view Battleground. Sheamus was there. I mean, he's the Money in the Bank briefcase holder, so he's not going to go anywhere. And Randy Orton's kind of just filling in the spots. I think Orton though needs a good
Feud going on.
Feud, man. He hasn't really had a good feud since going against Seth Rollins in the Authority. After that, he kind of died down. So I'm intrigued on seeing. We'll talk a little bit about Raw as the show goes on, but we saw that 8-man tag on Raw with Randy Orton being part of the faces, Sheamus being part of the heels.
Yeah, and Orton's still really over with the crowd, so they really need to find something to do with him. I still feel like he's potentially a main eventer. You just maybe put him into I want that feud to be done. I think this will finish the feud with Sheamus and Orton.
Yeah.
And you just go on to, Sheamus building up the Money in the Bank thing, and then hopefully put Orton in the Intercontinental title kind of chase.
Yeah.
And Orton, because I wonder what they're gonna do with Sheamus, because the New York crowd was really into all the heels, but
Yeah.
they don't give a shit about Sheamus.
Well, and here's the thing too is if you take away the guys on the top tier as of now, the heavyweight title contenders, your John Cena's, your Brock Lesnar's, you have a great group of guys for the Intercontinental title. We'll talk about Ryback a little bit later, but we talked about it last week. He just doesn't show me that he can be the second, big title holder, but behind the WWE World Heavyweight Champion. You have Orton, who can easily take that title, and escalate it to some great heights, but he's kind of in limbo. Is he going for the heavyweight title? Is he just kind of in limbo? Is he going for the Intercontinental title? These are the kind of things.
I definitely like him as a face, so I want to keep him that way.
Yeah, but he's a great heel, though.
He is.
You gotta admit, he's a great heel. Holy crap.
He is, but then he was during the Authority, timeline they had with him. I guess people were getting sick of him.
Yeah. I'm glad that he went against the Authority when he did, and we'll see what happens with Orton now. Even Sheamus, just because that 8-man tag didn't really tell us anything on Raw, so we'll see what feuds are gonna happen. We'll see where they go. Hopefully Orton will be in a better feud, as well as Sheamus. I mean, I think they need better feuds, especially if Sheamus is gonna have that briefcase. He needs a big push towards some sort of big
Sheamus
feud.
needs a moment to elevate him.
Yeah.
Like how Rollins had the turn against the Shield moment.
Yeah. So we'll see, and hopefully they'll be in good matches soon to come. So our second match of the pay-per-view was the Fatal 4-Way Tag Team title match for the championships. So you had Primetime Players as your champions coming in versus the New Day versus Lucha Dragons versus Los Matadores. It was... I'm laughing because our producer in the background is laughing at my Spanish accent, which I do not have, so I'll work on that. It was an okay match. I think it was made to put over Primetime Players, PTP, if you will, against New Day. New Day is growing on me. I know you're a fan. We talked about it, man, but holy
I think they've gone on pretty much
crap.
everyone with the... Man, because they came out, I believe, first, and then they did the whole, they do their promo at the beginning, and then they pitch pipes to see. And
and then you have I mean, come on, dude. You have a trombone, playing. It's just... And then you have they're singing the Jay-Z song. They're bagging on Jay-Z. They're trying to be heels.
They're saying,
but...
New York, what does New York know about hip-hop or something like that? I was like, this is so
Jay-Z
funny.
messed it up. Man, it comes from the South, dirty.
Yeah.
But it's funny. They're trying to be heels. They're really, really trying.
They're trying to be heels, but then they're so positive. It's such a weird spin on being a bad guy.
Yeah.
When they first came out and they were faces, everyone's like, man, New Day sucks, and
Yeah.
now people are pretty much
Yeah,
like, New Day rocks.
That's what I heard. I didn't hear anything about New Day sucks. I didn't hear about anything like that. The one thing that I did want to bring up because I thought it was hilarious. I don't know if you noticed throughout the whole match, especially at the end, where they picked up Big E and dude, the smile on his face. Because when he first came in, he was this badass bodyguard, this guy that never smiled. He's having fun with this thing, man. Which is pretty cool.
I'm glad for him.
Yeah. Kofi Kingston, Xavier Woods, Big E, they make a great team. We didn't mention it, but yeah, New Day won by pinfall. It was a good back and forth match with everything. I like the ending where you had the spot with the power bomb off the corner.
Oh, yeah.
Carrying the two guys with Titus O'Neil, and then the blind tag, and then and then the pinfall by New Day.
I like that a lot. I really like this match because at the beginning it's just a bunch of chaos, and then there's a bunch of big spots, and there's some botches I noticed.
Oh, for sure.
From I think Sin Cara messed up something.
Oh yeah, he tried to do some.
Or was it Callisto? One of them. I think it was
the massive guy.
Yeah.
He tried to do an aerial move, but he caught himself, and he ended up doing the move just kind of a different modification of it. But yeah, there were some botches, but that splash by Big E on the apron that was a good splash.
And then the hot tag to Titus, that was good.
Oh, he cleaned house.
Yeah, that was crazy.
He cleaned house.
He seemed like a real powerhouse. And what's his name? Darren Young. He was getting his ass kicked the whole match. So big ups to him.
Oh yeah. Anytime that you get your ass kicked for a good 10 minutes, it's you get props for that. This match ended in about 11 minutes, so they got some time.
Yeah.
I think it was good enough time for a 4-team match. So Doza picked New Day. I picked Primetime Players. So I think we're at 1-1 now. But I thought that they were going to keep it on Primetime Players for a little while longer. But I'm okay with the switch.
But I don't even know. Speaking of which, what are they going to do with them now? Considering what happened on Raw.
Yeah. So again, we'll bring up Raw every so often, and for those of you that didn't see Raw yet, turn away because we're gonna tell you some spoilers if you haven't heard. But if you have, how happy were you, Doza, to see the Dudley
Oh yeah,
Boys?
dude, 3D.
The Dudley Boys.
3D spot, and wow, yeah. Those guys. I grew up watching them.
Oh, yeah,
I can't believe they're not as old as the Undertaker.
Yep.
So when they came out and then get the tables and all that shit, and I'm just
and they did all their spots. They did the 3D obviously through a table on Xavier Woods, and then they did the what's up. They did all that. Even Bubba Ray did his little punching thing. On Big E. So it was good to see them. At first, I thought it was just a one-time thing. I don't know if you heard, but I heard a while back that
Uh-oh.
I heard a while back that Bubba Ray Dudley re-signed with TNA, and there was this whole thing about because that happening, or because he was going to work with the younger guys at TNA, that there was going to be no reason to come to WWE. They lost a chance, this and that. That's why I was surprised. That's why it came as such a shock to me. That they showed up.
Because I heard that too, and I remember, they haven't minus I think Bubba Ray's appearance at the last Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
They haven't been seen for the last decade or something like that.
10 years in a WWE ring, except for Bubba Ray, he did that Royal Rumble spot.
Rumble, and then I was like, oh, cool, maybe, where's Devon?
Yeah.
He wasn't there, so then he had to do the 3D with R-Truth, which I thought was kind of cool, but it's
it's nothing without Devon.
So it's good to see them back together.
So yeah, it was cool. It was a cool spot to see them. Do you think New Day is going to go against the Dudley Boys? Do you think it's going to be a triple threat? Because at the end of that spot on Raw, Dudley Boys did their thing against New Day.
Yeah.
But then they also came down to the commentary booth and stared down the Primetime Players. So I mean, are they trying to bring in, more tag teams into this mix? Are they trying to
I
be like
guess.
the Divas Revolutions where they're trying to bring in as
I
many
feel like
people?
the tag team was already in a good place even before the Dudley Boys came in, but now that they came in, and I felt, when the primetime players had the belts, I thought it was cool, but it just didn't make it seem like the belts were important. But now that the New Day has it,
Yeah.
they make it seem important. It's kind of like how Ryback has the
Yeah.
Intercontinental belt. Like, it doesn't seem that important, but
Yeah.
if Orton has it, then it seems
Yeah, it
like
elevates
it's a
it
big
into-
deal.
yeah. Agreed.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. So we'll see what's going to happen. I really hope that at least the Lucha Dragons stay in the mix because I think they're a good tag team. I hope they get the WWE Tag Team Championship soon because I think they're a good tag team. They were NXT champions for a while. They work really well. It's just you mentioned it last week. They don't talk. Whether or not they're good talkers, in general, I'm not sure. But how can you have champions that don't talk? Whether it's a face or a heel,
Yeah, exactly.
you have to have them.
You need to elevate it
Yeah.
with your talking.
Yeah.
And, have the crowd buy into you more with that and to put you over.
Yeah.
And if you can't do that, you can't succeed.
For sure. So we'll see how it is. Hopefully, all of them will get into a good matchup. I really want a Primetime Players New Day and Dudley Boys triple threat match
That'd
at
be
some
cool.
point. I think they can all carry it really
That'd be
well.
cool to, thinking ahead, maybe and Hell in a Cell in October. Like, because I'm thinking, Hell in a Cell's, all right, Night of Champions is going to be next. So.
Yeah.
And then Hell in a Cell's after that. And
Yep.
I was thinking, like, what could potentially be there? Now that you mentioned that, like, that'd be kind of awesome to
Yeah.
have you bring back Bubba Ray and Devon just in time for Hell in a Cell because you
Yeah.
need some, like, hardcore motherfuckers.
I'm hoping that they don't. It's obviously not a one and done. But I'm hoping that they do more dates than other legends. So I think they can elevate the tag team championship just by their mere presence, by teaching the younger guys and things like that how to be champions. It was mentioned on Raw they're 24 time champions. I mean that's insane.
What? Really?
They're 24-time
I must
world
miss that.
champions. So
Shit.
it's insane, man.
That's crazy.
So next up, we had Rusev along with Summer Rae versus Dolph Ziggler with Lana. It ended up in a double countout
Yeah.
at about the 11:50 mark,
So,
just
but
before
none
12
of us won
minutes.
that, I guess.
Yeah, I went ahead and gave us both points because
Oh, whatever. Even still.
whatever. But yeah, it was a double countout.
I want to know what you thought of that.
To be honest with you, I thought it was a botched spot at the end. I thought Ziggler was supposed to jump in, get Rusev counted out.
Mm-hmm.
It seemed like Ziggler was kind of confused at the end. It could be great acting that he made me believe that, but they were both outside. Ziggler was around the apron, like he was getting up. They hit the 8 and 9 count. And he was there. All he had to do. I mean, I've seen people run from
he's still good
one
to-
end to the other
to
in
miss
2
it.
seconds.
I would figure.
Yeah, that's what I thought. It was an okay match.
I didn't think it was a botch, but yeah, keep going.
Yeah, it was an okay match. I guess they're not ending it because on Raw there was still some animosity between the two and between the girls. I heard a rumor that it's going to be Ziggler and Lana in a mixed tag team versus Rusev and Summer Rae at Night of Champions.
Cool.
So I can't wait for the
I heard
girls to
that
kind of
too.
mix it up.
Because, I mean, at this point, the feud really, it's not that interesting to me.
Nope.
Because, I guess, I don't know, I guess I'll attribute it to Ziggler being out for a while.
Yeah,
And,
but it wasn't even because he was actually injured. It was because they kept him off TV to play an injury.
yeah, but then you have, like, Lana's supposed to continue the feud, and, I mean, she's not like a wrestler. She's not wrestling. She's not having matches. She's just having little spots
Yeah.
with Summer Rae, and that's cool and all.
Yeah.
I think people really liked Lana when she was with Rusev,
Yeah.
and now that she's with Ziggler, I don't know. She lost her appeal to me.
Let's just say that she's become stale.
That's a good
think-
word to put it as.
I think she was being pushed heavily. She was this, it was cool how they were doing it too. When they first came out, they both were heels. Rusev with the unbeaten streak ended up getting the U.S. title. You had Lana by his side the whole time, telling America to shut up, telling The Rock to shut up, telling anyone to shut up.
She did a shut up. Yeah, like hell yeah,
shut up. But eventually, when you have, how a woman that looks like Lana does, you're gonna get cheers. And then it was cool how they did the whole abusive relationship sort of thing. But the way that they brought Ziggler into it, I didn't see it. And we'll talk about this so many times. Ziggler just can't get in a good feud, And the thing is, being in a feud with Rusev is a good feud.
It should be a good feud.
Yeah.
I'm just not feeling it, man. Like for some reason.
And it almost feels like they're force feeding it to us, throwing the girls in. I'm excited to see the girls wrestle or try to wrestle.
Yeah.
But it almost seems like, what are you doing? What's the storyline? Is it about Rusev and Lana? Is it about Summer Rae and Lana? Because it doesn't seem about Ziggler.
That's what I'm saying. Like, because you have Ziggler out for that long, and Lana's the one to continue the feud, and she's not on the mic. I guess she's on the commentary, but then I guess that can only do so much. Like you don't have her on the mic like she used to when she was with Rusev and talking about, hey, yeah, Russia's the best. Shut up.
Yeah.
All this crap, and then
you lost because also
now she's just like fucking Ziggler's like girl, and that's it.
Yeah,
now she's dressing like him.
She doesn't talk. She used to be, for lack of a better name, the Paul Heyman when it came to Rusev. She was the talker. She was the one that talked shit. She was the one that made Rusev this monster. Mm-hmm. But she's not doing that for Ziggler, and obviously Summer Rae's not doing that for Rusev. Rusev's talking more than Summer Rae is. Summer Rae's a good worker when she was down in NXT, and I'm sure that she's trying really hard. But these storylines they're not doing it for me. Yeah. So I'm hoping they end the feud quickly, or just try to get better.
I'm hoping, get better, or man, just make Lana, turn heel, and then get her back together with Rusev, and I don't know, switch Summer Rae to Dolph Ziggler.
Yeah, dude.
I could see something being more interested in that because I like Ziggler and I wanted him to stay around and do something meaningful.
Yeah. So speaking off topic real quick, because you had mentioned to make Lana heel, which I would love because I love Lana as a heel. Mm-hmm. The thing is, if you really think about it, WWE doesn't make heels and faces anymore. The crowd does. Every crowd in every arena, social media, we as a fan base, as the WWE Universe, if you will, create these personas. Lana was a great heel, and then you start cheering for her, and what else are they going to do? Like she was trying to do everything bad and everything heelish, but she was getting cheered. So I'd love for her to be a heel. I just don't know how you're going to turn her heel again.
Well, I don't know. I think it'd be beneficial for Lana's character. Unless, if they do the next tag match and she shows up and she does well, I'll probably get some renewed interest into this feud.
Yeah. Well, I'm hoping the feud ends at Night of Champions if there is a match. I'm kind of over it. So.
Yeah.
But one match that I wasn't over, if you will, and I was actually pretty excited about, Stephen Amell and Neville versus Stardust and King Barrett. So I was excited for this match because you are a big Arrow fan, and so you were telling me about him and his character. I personally haven't seen the show. I apologize for Arrow fans out there. Neville is a high flyer, the man that gravity forgot, versus the Cosmic King Stardust against King Barrett. What surprised you the most about this match?
That Amell was in the ring so much, honestly, and I knew he had some good spots, and he'd throw a hip toss or something, and he did.
Yeah.
I was just surprised that he was in there more than Neville was, and he was taking more bumps than I thought he would take.
Yeah, and the thing that surprised me is Neville was the one with the hot tag, and he's the one with the pin. I thought Amel was going to be the one with the pin. I don't know, throw a red arrow by Neville in there, and then Amel's your legal man, and then he gets the pin. That's great. Props to Stephen Amell, man. That was, it was great how he stuck it in there. On social media, he showed his bumps and bruises on his back. After that, saying it was the greatest night of his life. He took some really good bumps, like you said.
And I like Arrow. I'm a big fan of Stephen Amell. And usually when the celebrities come around, I'm just like, oh, whatever. Like when Snooki was on. Yeah. Like WrestleMania or something a while back.
Yeah.
And she had a match and I was like, whatever. But then Stephen, I'm happy with the way they used him. Like they built it up, then he jumped into the ring that one Raw, and then now he had a match, and it went the opposite of how I predicted it go, where he'd get the hot tag.
Yeah, he got height on his entrance when they were there. Stardust was talking to Smack. Amel got on the top rope, jumped onto the middle of the ring. That was pretty good height. But he's not only an actor, he's a great athlete, obviously because of his character. But yeah, he did good.
Yeah,
he did.
I didn't want him to do bad, and he did it.
Yeah.
And I'm sure people that aren't big Arrow fans or who don't even know who this is are probably just like, okay, he did well.
Yeah.
And that's all you could ask for,
Well, one thing I'm glad too is they didn't push anything on him. They didn't push him to do moves that he shouldn't have been doing, or pushing too much. He did
that crossbody like splash on those two.
But I mean, it's not like they made him do like tombstones and like pile drivers and stuff like that. So they kept him within his boundaries, and he flew on it, man. So that was cool.
Yeah, like
good matchup.
He did a few flips and then kip ups and enziguri.
Yeah, that enziguri was actually pretty nice.
So I was like, all right, cool, man. Like,
yeah.
Hey, I'm happy. And then Neville had the red arrow to end it.
Yeah.
The pin, and it's good.
Yep.
Good match. I enjoyed it.
So this brings us into Raw. Speaking of this match, this brings us into what happened with Raw. So there was going to be a tag team match between Stardust and King Barrett versus Neville and a partner, which I don't think was ever even brought out, because right before the match, Stardust attacked King Barrett. Hit the, I believe his finisher is called the Queen's Cross or something like that.
I don't know what it's called. I need to look that up.
Yeah, but he hit it, and now King Barrett's out. My understanding is King Barrett's going to shoot a WWE Studios movie. I'm not sure. I forgot what it was called. But he's out making a movie, so that makes sense.
All right. Cool.
Didn't make sense in storyline.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that they make Stardust some sort of character that doesn't need a friend. I don't know what it is, but that was kind of strange. So we're looking, at least from my opinion, we're looking at Neville and Stardust going at it again, continuing their little feud, which I'm okay with. They're both high flyers, and I'm hoping either we find out Stardust's potential as Stardust, or you bring him back to Cody Rhodes.
I'd like to see where Stardust goes as a Stardust character.
Yeah.
I think you just kind of build momentum off what you did with the feud with Stephen Amell, would make you really cartoony and campy and cut funny promos and just I don't know, dude. Like, I really like his character, the way he comes out, he does the fucking that shit.
The star,
He's like weird as hell, and
yeah,
you need some more kind of character wrestlers.
He relished in the role. Like, he's enjoying the role. Before his father passed away, you could tell that he really wanted to make this role his.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that they kept him on there, because there was talk, once Dusty passed away, that he would go back to Cody Rhodes, do this whole, Rhodes angle thing and whatever. So I'm surprised but happy that he kept the Stardust role. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully, Neville and Stardust kind of go at it, because they're both good workers. So we'll see what's going on with them. We talked about Ryback earlier. Yeah. So he had a triple threat match for the Intercontinental title.
So wait, we're tied on the prediction.
Oh, my fault. We both picked Stephen Amell and Neville. Right now we're not gonna count that Rusev and Ziggler match. So I believe you are up.
But you picked Barrett?
No. I picked Stephen Amell and Neville.
Okay.
We both picked them. So right now you are up 2-1.
Really?
Yep. So
No, wait.
this is gonna be tough, man. This is gonna be tough.
Pretty sure we're tied.
Nah.
Because you picked Sheamus, and then
Yeah, and then you picked New Day,
New Day.
and then yeah. I'm gonna give out my math card because man, dude, I cannot.
Come on, we're Asian guys. We got to know this.
I know, seriously. Where do I turn in my Asian card?
All right, well, we'll just say we're tied here.
Okay, so we're tied 2-2. So, triple threat match. Ryback, Big Show, Miz. I was not looking forward to this match.
Me either, but for what it's worth, I enjoyed some of it. Like, I guess the way they were using Miz in this match,
Yeah.
as he was just trying to steal
Yeah.
the win from either the Big Show or the Miz. Then Big Show or Ryback. Then he'd cover one.
Yeah.
Then cover the other guy. Then
Yeah.
cover the other guy. And then
Yeah.
the kicks were getting shorter and shorter. And then
Yeah. We both picked Ryback. Ryback ended up winning, after 5 minutes. It kind of tells you something. When an Intercontinental Championship match is 5.5 minutes long, and a match with an actor is 7.5 minutes long.
oh shit,
That's not
the
good.
official. count
That's
right
not
there.
good. Yeah, that's your official time. Ryback won it in 5.5 minutes, just a little over 5.5 minutes. Where is this thing going,
Well, like
man?
you said, you wanted to see the Stephen Amell
I did.
match more than
I did.
this. Well,
And-
that's what I thought.
Yeah.
Because when I heard this card, I was like, oh fuck, man, I don't want to see these three guys. But I was entertained for what it's worth. But all I'm looking forward to is just seeing where it goes from there.
Yeah. On Raw, Big Show was taking the brunt out of some end match
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about.
moves,
When
if you
they were
will.
Kevin Owens and Rusev
Yeah.
kicking his ass, and
Yeah.
then all four faces got together and
Yep.
they RKO.
Yeah, they are. They threw him into an RKO.
That's sweet.
Man, you mentioned this last week, and you were worried that Big Show was gonna turn face again, and the thing is, he keeps on going face heel, face heel. They need to pick something for Big Show because he's been a heel for a while, but then he becomes a face, and then becomes a heel again. Then
Yeah,
becomes
I
a
think it'd
face,
be a joke if he became face to the fucking marks out there. So you probably just want to keep him a heel.
yeah,
At least
but
for now.
how do you keep him heel when Rusev and
'Cause-
Kevin Owens, basically turn their back on him, and
I don't know. Maybe that elevates their heel status because people don't like seeing Big Show anyway. So it's just better to keep him as a heel.
Yeah.
He gets the retire chance.
yeah.
They're not gonna change if he's a face, unless he turns back into being. He just needs to go away for a while, then come
Yeah.
back.
Kind of like what Kane's doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
'Cause once Kane, if he comes out like Night of Champions, I'd be fucking like, oh yeah,
Yeah,
cool.
it's Kane. Yeah, he hasn't been here for a couple months.
I'm just hoping he comes with the pyro or something like with the mask, but that's not
Well,
gonna happen.
the thing is, a few years ago, they tried to bring Kane back into this whole monster status. Remember, he had like that steel mask that he came out in, and for a few weeks he was cool, and then he kind of just dissipated again. He just kind of went away.
Yeah, and they were trying to do that earlier with like Daniel Bryan and
Yeah.
shit. And I don't know, they got rid of that like quick.
Yeah.
But I like him. I don't know. It's just I always didn't like the corporate Kane thing, but I guess it works for the storyline because he's the veteran
Yeah.
wrestler. But it's just weird seeing him out there with the fucking slacks on wrestling and you're like
Yeah,
in the dress pants and shit.
I do not want him to be part of the Authority when he comes back. I'm hoping that the turn on him by Seth Rollins sparks something so he becomes not even so much a face. I really would like him to come in, chokeslam Seth or chokeslam a heel, turn around and chokeslam faces and just become that neutral monster that he's supposed to be. Or he does something. I mean, he's kind of been lost in limbo for
yeah,
a
but
while.
can he get that over again? Like, fuck.
Well, maybe the newer fans, the little ones that are watching now, maybe they'll enjoy that. But again, it's PG rated show, so you can't really do as much as you could before during the Attitude Era and stuff like that. This reality era or whatever they're calling it is, kind of screws up a lot of the storylines that could be.
It screws up like wrestlers' potential to grow.
Yeah,
because you can't let them. You have to script what they say and shit.
I'm really hoping that WWE moves completely to WWE Network when they have enough subscribers and take away this whole PG thing. Like I understand in the arenas you still have kids and stuff like that, but come on, when we were growing up, we were kids going to arenas. We were kids watching TV, and
like,
there was
I'm not that fucked up.
Yeah, there were blood all over the face.
Yeah,
yeah, not that fucked up. There was blood all over the place. There was injuries. There's, that's just the reality that we live in, and unfortunately, it affects the wrestling industry. But when you're the number one and almost honestly only wrestling company that matters, you can kind of do whatever you want.
Well, man, I don't know about them ever coming out of PG now, because that'll give you the broadest audience.
Yeah.
So,
I don't think they will.
Yeah. If you try to turn it back to fucking Attitude Era, like, you're gonna have parents that are like, oh, don't watch this when Summer Rae comes out in bra and panties matches and whatever, and
God damn, I miss those bra and panties matches.
Yeah.
And the thing is, it's speaking of women's wrestling, we'll talk about it in a little bit, but I'm glad that they kind of moved away from being divas, or just divas and kind of getting into wrestlers. So that part I'm okay with. Every now and then a bra and panties match is fine with me.
Oh yeah, don't get me wrong.
But this whole PG rating just hinders, like you said, the chance for them to kind of grow as characters. Triple H grew as a character because he was that bad.
Yeah.
Even Stone Cold grew as a
prime
character.
one example is like The Rock, saying all this SmackDown lady candy ass, and all this crap.
Jabroni doesn't mean much.
Yeah.
But when you really put it into context, Jabroni can mean anything you want it to mean. But the wrestler that I look at in the Attitude Era that would have been screwed by this reality era is Stone Cold.
Oh yeah, he started it.
Imagine Stone Cold without a middle finger.
If you're gonna say Austin 316 says I just whooped your ass, and they had to cut that, and then they don't do this.
Yeah, without a middle finger, Stone Cold is not Stone Cold.
Yeah.
Without
you could kiss my ass.
Yeah.
Like, Stunner's the fucking Vince McMahon.
Exactly. What are you gonna do? Promote beating up your boss and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But that's the reality we're in, unfortunately, and that's what society's brought to us. But that is conversation for another episode.
We'll talk about that some other time.
We have
that's a whole fucking.
We have that down the schedule line. So Ryback was your winner again at 5.5 minutes. We both picked him, so we're now at 3 apiece. I did my math right that time.
Thank you.
Now we get into the meat, the brunt of your pay-per-view. So we went through the first 5 matches. That was kind of the first half of it. There were 10 matches total. Now you have Bray Wyatt, Luke Harper versus Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose. So this kind of went either way. You and I were very confused as who to pick and how it was going to go. And my thoughts on from last week on it were Wyatt needs a win. Mm-hmm. He's lost too many bigger title matches, or not even title matches, just bigger pay-per-view matches.
Yeah.
But after seeing Raw, I understood where it went.
Yeah.
So I have to learn how to be patient. I understand that, but I wanted Wyatt to win, man. I think
that's your man.
That's my boy. That's my boy. Told you last week. Told you this week. Tell you next week. I'm a Firefly. My son's a Firefly. We love watching Bray Wyatt talk. We love watching him wrestle. The Wyatt family, I'm glad they got kind of back together. Eric Rowan is missing this because of injury. And then you had Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose, who were kind of in limbo. I mean, this is a good feud, but
it's a good feud for them.
But
they've had a lot of matches.
They have, but you know what? They don't disappoint. The matches
know,
don't disappoint. They do the same spots, but they do it in a way
that's
where...
exactly what it was, though. During the SummerSlam match, I was like, oh, this is cool. Then, same spots.
Yeah.
And then, man, I thought it was so funny how, like, Ambrose is so over with the crowd, and then Roman, like, he gets all the shit.
Yeah. He is definitely in that middle ground where he can either go face or go heel, and I think if he goes heel, it'll be better as a character.
Yeah.
But you can't go heel without Ambrose. I don't know.
I was waiting for a turn during SummerSlam, but they didn't. Do any of it, and they seem like such bros. They do the fucking the
Hawaiian sign and all that stuff. Ambrose is over with the crowd. I agree with you. Ambrose is so over. Reigns, he had some more cheers, I think, from what I understood, or from what I heard.
But then it was just he was getting like, when he got out of the match for a while, and they were like doing the Roman sleeping chant.
Yeah.
And then even towards the end, when he hit Ambrose hit Dirty Deeds. So you expect him to just pin his ass, but then he tags Roman for the spear, and then he does the fucking little thing, and it's kind of like cheesy to me.
Yeah. Well, he's a face though. I mean, faces kind of do that, If he was a heel, he wouldn't do that. Like you can't unless you're New Day.
I mean, but you can make this look cool, but it just doesn't look. It just looks weird when he does it to me. But.
I don't know how we talked about it last week too, but last episode we were talking about the Superman punch. It's overdone, It's a cool move, but
I think it's a cool move when he hits it.
But it's like there's 3-4 guys in the ring. He Superman punches everybody, and I don't know.
It's a nice setup move, I guess.
It's okay. He needs a better finisher though.
And the spear, I've never really even liked the spear as a finisher. I didn't like it when Edge did it.
Yeah,
I didn't. I mean, I thought it was kind of cool when Goldberg did it. It's just because he's such a big ass guy.
Yeah.
But I don't. Nah. It just after that I was just like, Edge spearing somebody. It was only cool when he did it, fucking midair.
Yeah.
But
the worst was when Big Show had his spear before the knockout punch came up, and you would. I mean,
the knockout punch is so weird to me. That's because it's the strongest finisher in the WWE.
Yeah.
Like you'll kick out a fucking tombstone, you kick out a F5, you kick out an attitude adjustment, you get knocked by this one punch.
Yeah.
You're done.
Stasiak. I think his name was Stan Stasiak, way back in the day.
Uh-huh.
This might have even been before your time. He had a finishing move called the hard punch. It was literally called the hard punch.
I know what you're talking about.
And he would punch the guy in the chest, and the guy would fall down.
Yeah.
And then that was his finishing move. So, I mean, it's kind of going back to that, no one wants to get knocked out or punched by Big Show because I'm sure his hand's as big as my head. But, I mean, still, like, you have F5s and you have, all these things, and then all of a sudden you have a finishing move like a knockout punch or a spear or, to be honest with you, even Daniel Bryan's, running knee lift.
The running knee. I like that move because of how he builds it. It's like how I liked Shawn Michaels' super kick. Like at the end of the day, it's just a fucking kick to the fucking chin. Well, actually, a kick to the chin would hurt a lot, but the way he stands in the corner is fucking boom, boom, boom. It's just like how Brian's like he's in the corner waiting for the guy to get up, and runs and does the knee.
But at least Brian has a submission move. At least he has the yes lock. He has another finishing move. Roman Reigns, he has a spear.
His spear and a Superman punch.
The Superman punch is not even a finishing move. It's like like you said, it's a setup move. So, going back to this match, it was a good match, about 11 minutes. Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose take it over Wyatt and Harper. You took the match. I took Wyatt and Harper. So, from what I can count, now the count is 4-3. But as we saw on Raw, we got to talk about Raw.
Oh yeah.
I can understand now why the Wyatts lost. The Wyatt family lost. A new member was introduced. Braun Strowman. Huge
that was,
guy.
When he came, I was like, my God.
Huge guy. I mean,
even though he has like a fucking, he looks like the guy from Game of Thrones, but
yes. At first, at first I thought it was him when he had the mask, because there was talk about this when he came from he was visiting the performance center, and like they were talking to him about like making an appearance, blah blah. I swore it was him under the mask, and then it was Braun Strowman. Strowman, for those of you that don't know or aren't familiar, he was signed to NXT in 2013. Never really had a televised match. He's had dark matches.
Okay. And I'm like, really? Because I've never heard of him.
He's had matches in NXT, dark matches, I think, for SmackDown, but he's never had a televised match, so therefore he's never had a televised feud. So this guy's brand new. He's not green because he's been around for a couple years, but this guy is...
I'm hoping they make him like Kane
I hope so too. And to be honest with you, I hope Eric Rowan comes back and they actually make a huge family.
And when I said the Game of Thrones guy, I meant like Samuel Tarly. Do you know who that is?
No.
He's like that fucking fool. He's one of the Night's Watchmen, but he's like the pussy one.
Oh, okay.
Just look it up. Look at that picture of him again. And I was like, that's the guy from Game of Thrones.
Yeah. So I'm hoping that this family grows. Like I said, I've always been a big, huge fan of the Wyatt family because I'm a big, huge fan of stables.
Yeah.
From what it looks like too, stables are kind of showing here and there. Different stables, Wyatt family, you have your Divas Revolutions with different stables. I'm hoping that they grow this family and just dominate. I shouldn't say they need titles. It would be nice to have titles. But if they can go around, dominate, I wouldn't mind seeing a Bray Wyatt with the Wyatt family in his corner versus Brock Lesnar. Because you don't take anything away from Brock Lesnar being a one-on-one match because you have the family behind him, but then you make Wyatt stronger by having the family behind him.
Yeah.
So imagine Brock versus Bray, and do it at a Royal Rumble or even a Payback or something. A pay-per-view.
I'm thinking you could put the Braun and Harper in a tag team.
Yeah.
You win those belts, and then if you get, I don't know, somebody else. If Rowan comes back and he decides to go back with the Wyatts and give him build him up to have an Intercontinental Championship. You could possibly build Bray Wyatt up to be a main event guy. But
I mean, I would tweak that idea because I think it's a good idea that you're having to have the whole Wyatt family just take all the titles. You could have Rowan and Strowman as your tag team. Luke Harper has been around. He used to wrestle as Brody Lee in the Indies, and this guy is. I mean, you see him fly through.
Yeah, he's a very agile guy. He's a big
ring.
guy.
Yeah,
too.
And what I was thinking is, this guy's like Luke Harper's huge, and then next to Strowman, holy crap!
Because when they're standing when they're doing this, the spot where Wyatt's down there and then they're above him, like fuck. That's an intimidating stable.
Dude, Strowman's chest is bigger than my body.
And when they made, his debut was great because he fucking, choked out
Roman Reigns
and shit.
Yeah, and threw him around like a rag doll. His finishing move's not that bad either. I think he's got to hit it a little bit better. I don't know what it's called yet, but
we'll see.
And the thing is too, with Bray, he keeps on talking about Abigail, Sister Abigail. Like this is Abigail's black sheep. Of course, Eric Rowan wears the white sheep mask. So Abigail's got to become a bigger persona. Bray's gonna bring out Abigail in more of a more of a storyline.
That'd be crazy, like have a mystery person.
Yeah. So we'll see about that. But again, you took Reigns and Ambrose, so kudos to you. Next time I'll try to choose not through my heart, but with my mind, because I should have seen this coming.
I'm not mad at that pick. For all I know, if they could have had it, because I know they wanted to continue the feud, and they probably needed a win,
which is fine. I'm okay with them going with the feud. So next is the WWE World Heavyweight and U.S. Championships. Before we get into this match, I talked about this last episode, how the heavyweight title has kind of...
They're burying the title.
They're burying the title. I don't think fully that anymore, but at the same time, this was your 7th match of the card out of a 10-card match.
Yeah, the
or a
placement
10-match
surprised
card.
me because I was like, "Is this next?" And then I heard John Cena's music drop. I'm like,
It's
"What?" I'm
it's
like, "Okay,
it's
shit."
insane. Again, we figured that Brock and Undertaker were gonna finish the pay-per-view, but to be 7th, I mean that's insane. That's 3 down from what the main event is. You have 2 titles on the line. You have John Cena, who is the biggest wrestler in WWE for the last 10 years. You have Seth Rollins, who's your title holder, who they're trying to franchise, and it's 7th. So it is what it is. So let's get into that. What did you think of the match?
Oh my god, dude, that match was amazing.
Yeah.
And then, a lot of people give Cena shit about how, he doesn't contribute to matches or that much, and he's just whatever, and then he gets carried by the other guy, and I think that's unfair.
Yeah.
For the people say that, but then this was Seth Rollins all day in this match, like the things he was doing, off the top rope, then, hitting the fucking AA on John Cena and everything. He was the best performer of the night, in my opinion.
Their spots were amazing. I admit that. Their spots were simply amazing. It went on for about 19 and a half minutes, so they got good time, which they deserved, and I think they could have gone longer, which is fine. But we both picked Seth Rollins for different reasons. I don't think we were really 100% sure it was going to be Rollins when we picked it. But Rollins did end up winning because of the host, Jon Stewart. So we talked about this at the end of last episode. What would his role be? What's he going to do? So as a host, you didn't really see him during the show. You saw him at the beginning. You saw him with the Paul Heyman and Brock Lesnar skit.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. But I mean, once he came out, I knew he wasn't going to go against Rollins. It would have been too obvious.
Yeah, that's the one big thing I didn't like about the match, was that I felt when he came out, I guess Jon Stewart just telegraphed the heel turn too much for me, because he looked at Rollins, then he looked at Cena. I'm like, oh fuck, he's gonna turn heel.
And that's the thing. I think there was a botch on a couple ends. I think Jon Stewart came in too early, and I think John Cena got up too late. Because if you notice, John Cena was still on the ground when Jon Stewart came in, and Cena took forever to get up. And once he got up, that's when the turn happened.
If you're Jon Stewart, all you have to do is don't look at John Cena, just motherfucking fuck you, Seth Rollins.
Yeah, but as a non-wrestler, you don't have eyes behind the back of your head,
I get you.
like others do. So I mean, I could see why he did that. I liked how they explained it on Raw. Because, you're watching SummerSlam, or I'm watching SummerSlam, and this happens.
That didn't make sense. I was like,
why the fuck
I was like, oh, that's kind of cool, but I was like, why?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So, on Raw, Jon Stewart comes out, which is cool because he has nothing else to do. I mean, he's
fucking not on the
he's
show anymore.
retired from the Daily Show, so he's probably going to be a full-time wrestler soon. But he basically explains himself, brings out Ric Flair, 16-time world champion, and he explains that he turned on John Cena because Ric Flair is his favorite wrestler, and he did not want that record to be broken by anybody else. This, in turn, brings out John Cena, and at the end of the skit, we see an AA on Jon Stewart, which was good because Stewart took it. He took it well.
He's like, got to do what I got to do.
Yeah.
Does this.
Yeah.
Like, all right, awesome.
Yeah. So it was good.
Props to Jon Stewart, man.
Yeah.
Took it like a champ.
Oh yeah. Another thing too that I was thinking about what we were talking about before was, Cena never turned heel. He's never really been a true heel, but he's having heel tendencies. A couple weeks ago when he started talking about being a 16-time world champion and tying Ric Flair, he's never talked about being in that, that type of history before. He let history speak for itself, or he let his actions speak for itself when it came to history. All of a sudden, he started talking about it. Then, everybody loved Jon Stewart, so now you turn on Jon Stewart by giving him an AA. So there's heel tendencies from what I can see.
You know, Jon Stewart did a heel move, and just because he fucking AA'd the shit out of Jon Stewart, I wouldn't say he's John Cena did a heel move. But then I feel like if you want to turn him heel, like you have to do it when he ties Ric Flair's thing or before he breaks Ric Flair's record, because the crowd won't dig it. Because if he won at SummerSlam, the crowd would have fucking been pissed. They would have been furious.
Yeah.
But
it gives him a good feud. I mean, actually, I don't even come to think of it. I don't even know he can't feud with Jon Stewart. Jon Stewart's not a wrestler. Seth Rollins seems to have gone on to different things. You know, by the name of Sting, which we'll talk about in a second. You know, where does John Cena go from here?
You know, I guess I heard a rumor that he would feud with Seth Rollins, and Seth Rollins would do double work on Night of Champions and defend the U.S. title against Cena that night, and then later defend the World Heavyweight against Sting.
Okay.
Which
I'll be okay with that.
Man, Rollins impressed me so much at SummerSlam. Like, I feel like he's the best performer they have.
Yeah.
In the industry right now, and
yeah.
If he's up to it, I'd be happy to see that happen.
Yeah, it's shades of Daniel Bryan doing double work at WrestleMania. Mm-hmm. You know, when he took on Triple H, and then he did a triple threat match against Randy Orton and Batista. You know, Rollins is a great worker. You know, he was the first NXT champion. For those of you that didn't know, so he's got the moxie, he's got the strut, he's got the championships. I'm glad that they're giving him time to build his character. And what's cool is he's doing it without Kane and without J&J. He's doing it on his own. Obviously, this one he won because of Jon Stewart, but he's going in there doing 20-minute matches with John Cena, doing moves that are unbelievable, and he's coming out. And that heel persona as a champion, I think is really good.
One more thing. I get that he's a heel, and, you know, you want to keep your heel persona by having dirty finishes, but I mean, he could have went clean over on Cena, and man, he would have looked so fucking like he would look like a champion. And I feel like he deserves maybe a clean win over Cena, because he could shine, man.
It's tough when you have those kind of decisions, because you know, he still is a heel champion, so he's got to have that heel quality. You know, Triple H, he's still Triple H's guy. So to win like that, I mean, he didn't ask for it. So, you know, that's the thing. It's not like he turned around and called J&J to come out and distract Cena or whatever.
Good point.
So
no,
it was,
about it. Yeah.
You know, it was one of those things where it was like, hey, all right, cool. It was done for me. You know, I'm going to pin the guy. I really wish they bring the curb stop back.
I like the pedigree, but I like it when Triple H does it. And the curb stomp is fucking... I like that move.
But it's just weird how, like, such a big move, like a pedigree, is handed down. You know? I mean, well, I guess the figure 4 was really handed down.
They threw that into the Cena match, I remember. And I was like, oh, fuck, he's going to figure 4 and win? Like, nah.
So, you know, we'll see. So...
Wait, what did you think of the finish? Because... honestly, I was just kind of thrown off by it. Well, because obviously I felt like there was an explanation to it. I'm okay with Stewart coming out, and then even now that he explained that I didn't want him breaking Ric Flair's thing, I was like, well, that's an okay explanation.
Yeah. I'm hoping that they explain it a little bit more. Maybe bring Stewart in for one more Raw, or you know, I don't know if he's going to be out because he's feeling the effects of the AA.
Yeah.
But at least they gave an explanation. There have been so many times in the past where WWE will do something and literally you don't hear anything about it after that. So I'm glad they gave some sort of explanation where Cena goes, because he was thrown out of Raw before the statue coronation of Seth Rollins. So I think you're right. I think Cena and Rollins again, whether it's for the U.S. title.
They're not done, man. After that finish, like, you have to continue something going on with Cena.
Yeah, so we'll see. We both picked Rollins, so looks like we're at 5-4. it's gonna be intriguing to see where both of them go after their feud with each other. But like you said, Seth Rollins impressed me as well, and Seth Rollins can pretty much work with anybody in the industry right now.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping though that he kind of goes back and does something with the rest of the Shield, whether it's joining them or fighting them. So that'll be interesting to see. And then again, John Cena can fight anybody as well. So we'll see where they go. Next on the pay-per-view agenda was the triple threat elimination match, single elimination match between Team Bella, Team Bad, and PCB. I guess they took out the team part of it, so they just keep on changing their name.
I think it's still officially Team PCB, but they just call it PCB.
Yeah. So they gave them 15 or so minutes, 15 and a half minutes, which is good for a Divas match. I was surprised at how Team Bad got eliminated so quickly.
Yeah, man, me too.
Because that was your pick?
Well, obviously, because my pick, but then I was disappointed in this match. I don't know how you feel.
I was. I actually have a lot to talk about.
I do too. Actually, this is one of the main things that was like I had a problem with during this whole like great weekend of wrestling.
Yeah,
it's because they come out and then everyone's like, we want Sasha,
Yeah.
and I guess she had the fucking incredible match with Bayley.
My God.
Yeah.
My God. Let's go on with what you were saying, but we have to come back to that. So, you were saying...
So, you might wanted to give her not too much ring time, but I mean, she could have gotten away with way more. And Kevin Owens had that match, and he was taking bigger bumps last night in the ladder match. So I felt like you could have thrown Sasha a bone.
Yeah.
And then you eliminate him that early, and Sasha's hardly in there, and Tamina's in there.
Yeah.
For the most part, and I just really don't care about Tamina.
Well,
I don't.
And the thing is, like, okay, out of all the 9 girls, I mean, maybe with the exception of Charlotte, Tamina's the biggest one. She's the bodyguard of the group. Out of Team Bad,
Yeah.
When you look at all of them, she's the
probably
one.
the strongest.
Yeah,
she
doesn't
got the most impressive
physique.
Yeah.
Yeah, she doesn't talk. She holds that jacket like a bodyguard. I mean, she protects.
Yeah.
And then she gets pinned by Brie Bella.
Yeah,
on
man.
an X Factor or whatever they're calling it.
Yeah, they just kind of lost me after that.
You're
it lost interest, and the crowd lost it too, man.
Yeah.
You could have made this so much better if the Bellas got eliminated first, but they didn't.
Yeah,
so everyone just
because you're taking away one of the 3 new girls that have come in. Granted, I fully agree with you. Sasha had a hell of a match, and that's probably the reason why they didn't want to book her too much ring time. But she's one of the 3 girls that have come out in the last few weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And then you don't barely put her in, and then her team loses that quickly.
Yeah.
And by the way that they won. Like, Tamina is your muscle girl, and she gets beaten by the smallest, girl in the match.
Yeah.
I'm not... I swear I'm not trying to take anything away from Brie Bella. Both the Bella twins, and we've talked about this so extensively, they've worked their asses off to get where they are, because they used to suck.
Yeah.
Really badly. But they worked their asses off, obviously with their boyfriend, husband, wrestlers. It's, props to them. But storyline-wise, come on.
Yeah.
If it was a singles match and Brie does her little, I'm Daniel Bryan and I can overcome anything, that's fine.
Yeah.
This is a 3-team single elimination match.
And then, I wasn't digging that. I was like, maybe if they had to eliminate each wrestler, it would have been better.
Yeah, I think it would have been too long, though.
Probably would have. Because you need to give Becky, Charlotte, Sasha, Paige enough time to shine.
Yeah. So, I was calculating it, and again, because my math skills are apparently so bad, I could be wrong on this, but the Divas title is around 280 days now, or 200 maybe 75 days, with Nikki Bella. I think the title title that AJ Lee time wise had was closer to 290 something. So Night of Champions is right before she hits the record-breaking mark.
Okay.
What do you think? Do you think she's going to keep the title and break the record? Do you think they're going to throw it into a storyline as far as her losing it right before?
Dude, I hope.
You think AJ's going to
Nikki
come back
doesn't
and
break it? Because
Yeah.
AJ coming back, probably not.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
oh man, just
What up, CM Punk?
I really hope she doesn't break it because she hasn't been defending it.
Yeah.
And if she's just gonna, I feel like she's just gonna walk into the record and it's supposed to be impressive, but then people that are smart know like this is bullshit.
Yeah.
You got to give it to somebody more talented or something. So,
Yeah.
I'm hoping with how they're making the push Becky, she had the pin during the match.
Yeah.
Or during the SummerSlam match.
Yeah.
Her or Charlotte. I think Paige they're easing up on Paige now. And I would like Sasha to get back in there, man, because she's creeping up,
Yeah.
like on
Well,
my radar, like.
And you were talking about that NXT match, man. She showed me even more than what I've seen before. I've seen a lot of her matches on NXT, her championship matches when she won it against Charlotte.
Yeah.
But her against Bayley at NXT TakeOver was, it's a match of the year contender, they're saying. But it was
Yeah,
match of the
I might
night.
have to agree.
Match of the night.
Yeah,
Hands down for me.
I think for
down.
me too. It's because that I don't really know the whole storyline with Bailey and them, but they explained it.
Yeah.
Then they have the match. There's great storytelling. Like it's emotional. Then you get the pin, and then there's some little girl crying, and
Yep.
then she's crying,
Yep.
and then they come out. They have like a curtain call.
Yep.
I'm like,
You had
this is fucking amazing.
You had everything that you can possibly imagine
Yeah.
in one match, in one 20-25 minute segment. So to kind of give you a quick story, like backstory on this whole thing. So the little girl is a girl that is a huge Bayley fan. So she goes to every, they do tapings at down in Orlando.
Yeah.
And she's a huge Bayley fan. Comes in Bayley gear, always there. Bayley she's even been on TV and stuff like that. So they've actually noticed her enough where Bayley will go up to her, give her a hug and stuff like that.
Oh, cool.
So,
Oh wow.
yeah. So
Dang,
and that's the thing about farm systems is, when you tape in the same place every week, the same people go, but these are like fans that go, So like when you watch an NXT, regular episode,
Yeah.
Not even a takeover match, the crowd is just so into it that you want to be part of it. So the whole backstory was Bayley was losing matches here and there. She just couldn't get over the hump. She was part of this group called the Four Horsewomen. Bayley, Sasha, Charlotte, and Becky. She was the only one out of the four that really never kind of went over the hump. I don't think Becky ever won the championship, but she was always regarded as one of the top tier women. And so Bayley was kind of like the fourth person on that 4-team horsewomen. So, one week she decided, okay, I'm gonna to fight Sasha, I'm gonna beat the best. So she went and she beat Becky. She went and she beat Charlotte. She beat everyone in her way. So she got her title match at TakeOver against Sasha. That's where the storyline was, and that's where the emotion came in. Sasha just talked down to her the whole time.
Yeah, I could feel it, the build up. Like I don't know it too much, but then even at the end, I was like fucking like getting choked up. I'm like, yeah, Bayley,
exactly.
Go, girl.
You can't help but not.
And then just that reaction that I got, I was like, that was one of the greatest matches I've seen because it drew me in. When I don't know, I just barely jumped into the story,
and that's how great of a story it was.
Yeah.
So those two, great match. Sasha really made it known that she was part of Raw for a reason, not just because of her looks and not just because of who she knows. She's a wonderful wrestler.
Yeah.
Eventually Bayley will be brought up, but I think Bayley's now the face of NXT as far as the women's division. You have up and comers. You have Nia Jax who's coming in, who's I believe the niece of The Rock. She was supposed to make her debut quite a while back. She got into a car accident.
Oh shit.
So she had to kind of recover. So they've been doing little snippets of her for NXT. So I think either next week or the week after she's going to be debuting. So that's going to be fun. So NXT is, I think, taken care of. But they need to now concentrate on pushing these 3 women that got up to the main roster. I just hope they don't kind of lose their way because the Bellas are up here, and you know how WWE is.
The whole thing that I was having a problem with is, SummerSlam, it came around, and I was expecting to look forward to the Divas match, and I was just like, well, I mean, what is it for? What if whoever wins, what's gonna happen? Like, nothing's gonna fucking happen. And then the next day on Raw, Nikki comes out talking the shit about the title.
Yeah.
And then, man, the crowd wasn't having it. They were giving them shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
2 things I noticed from that match was the fact that Alicia Fox actually wrestled, and she wrestled well.
Yeah.
She actually got the pin.
She's great.
And the fact that the crowd did the wave for a good 5 minutes while the match was going on.
They're doing the We Are Awesome.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, this is Paige in the ring, and she's trying to become the ring general at the time, and she's trying to, force feed this match, and the crowd just, like you said, weren't having it. They just, and Brooklyn was good the whole weekend, and now they're just giving the Divas shit. But I started thinking about it, and I understand why they did. The Divas, they were given a push with this whole Revolution thing, which is cool.
Yeah.
But if you go back and look at the matches that they've had, Charlotte, Becky, and Paige are supposed to be faces, but the way that they carry themselves is very heelish.
Really? I don't think so.
Well, if you kind of just, the way that heels.
You gotta give me an example or something, man, because.
I don't know. I mean, it'll come to me and I'll tell you an example, but it just doesn't seem like they have a direction, like this matchup, PCB won at SummerSlam, and now the Bellas won at Raw, but there's no.
There needs to be stakes. That's what I'm waiting for, and.
Very good point.
With Nikki there, and they have the Divas Revolution. That's great. You bring fucking dope wrestlers down.
Yeah.
But I mean, what are you really doing with them? They're still just looked at as a side attraction, I guess.
Yeah.
On WWE, and
yeah,
they don't. Yeah, they need some stakes there, and even though the matches sometimes they'll have 2 Divas matches in one night, and they're longer, but
but there's no substance.
Yeah, there's no substance to it.
Yeah.
It's just there needs to be some higher stakes in line.
Yeah.
Like how the Bailey 4 horsewomen fucking thing went. Like you need something like that to elevate divas.
That's a great point.
Because I felt like, watching the NXT thing, they're really regarded as not like entertainers. They're like regarded as like athletes.
Yeah, they're wrestlers.
They're respected.
Yeah.
But then I don't feel like they're getting that same treatment
Yeah.
on the main roster.
Yeah, and that's the thing. You go to the main roster, and it becomes this whole different thing to have to deal with. Like storylines are different, characters are different. Obviously you're big time now, so you have to perform well. Thing is, they're great wrestlers. Put them in the ring as wrestlers, and that's it. I mean, fine, give them characters, fine, give them storylines, but overall make them wrestle. And that does, I mean, it is what it is. Hopefully they'll get better. I think they need stakes, like you said, and I think they need at least better storylines.
Yeah.
So, I don't even know where this is going.
I don't either. Like, are they just gonna keep fighting every week and then fucking, I beat you. Well, all right, let's wrestle this week. Oh, I won.
Yeah.
All right, let's wrestle next week.
Exactly.
Like, they need to maybe create a tag division for the divas, or
which maybe they're going for. You never know.
You just got to get that shit out of Nikki Bella's hands.
Yeah.
And no disrespect, because like I can see her improvement, and I think she's a better wrestler than Brie and whatever. But I just man, like I'm not gonna be happy if she fucking breaks AJ's record.
I agree.
Like, I'm gonna be pretty mad.
I agree. So you picked Team Bad.
Yep.
I picked PCB.
And we're tied.
So we are now tied 5 apiece. Let's hope for the best with the Divas. They were doing real well. Let's hope they don't lose their momentum, and let's hope they get better.
Even Paige is losing her momentum, and it's making me sad.
But
it is what it is, man.
Yeah, it is. So speaking of NXT, You mentioned Kevin Owens had a match at NXT going against Finn Balor for the title.
Oh yeah.
He also had a match at SummerSlam. So this guy did double duty, sort of how Sasha Banks did. Kevin Owens versus Cesaro. Second to last match. This was your setup match to the main event, and it was a damn good one.
Yeah.
It was a good one.
This is a good match. This is one of the matches I remember I was saying that I was looking forward to. I didn't think it would be right before the main event, but hey, all right.
But you did call it a sleeper match, which you were 100% right. They gave them 14 and a half minutes, so just under 15, which was good. We both picked Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens did well. Cesaro did his big swing, bunch of European uppercuts.
Yeah.
Great spots off the top ropes.
Especially the finish with Kevin Owens. Well, even at the finish, I felt like they might have botched something because it felt weird at the end, but then they recovered, and then Kevin Owens did that little slam off the top, and then into the pop-up powerbomb.
We love that pop-up powerbomb. It's a good move. But we called it. We called Kevin Owens pop-up powerbomb 1, 2, 3 in the middle of the ring. But it was a good match, so that's all we asked for. There was good chemistry between the two, good storytelling. For a second you think that Cesaro's going to win, and then another second you think Kevin Owens is going to win. So it was a good match.
I liked the match. I felt like, I don't know, I probably wouldn't have placed it there, because I don't know, I felt like the crowd wasn't into it at the point. Well, I mean, because it's a long show, I get it. Right then you're waiting for Lesnar.
And plus, you have the fans, the WWE Universe, they're counting the matches, so they know what match is next.
Yeah.
The thing is, though, at least they didn't put the Divas match right before the main event, because that would have screwed up everything.
Gotten destroyed by the crowd after, Sasha left.
Yeah, it would have been over. So I'm glad that they at least put Kevin Owens and Cesaro.
Good point. Yeah.
It was and they gave him 14 minutes.
New York's a smart crowd, and
they're not.
They know those guys are good wrestlers, so they're like, even though they're fatigued, they weren't gonna boo their ass, or we want Lesnar them.
Yeah. Oh no. Yeah. So they wanted to see a good match, and they saw a good match. So glad Kevin Owens won. Glad he got that push. Again, Cesaro really didn't need a win. Really, when Tyson Kidd comes back, I think that they'll go through the tag team division like they did before. Hopefully Natalya will now show up on programming, because I kind of miss her. But Kevin Owens, I can see him going against the Big Show because of what happened on Raw. I don't really think that that's a good way to go.
That's not a good idea.
But him and Rusev going against Big Show, unless it's going to be
keep him with Cesaro, or don't with Orton. Fuck, don't give him Big Show.
Yeah, and here's the thing too. They're doing too many of these one and done pay-per-views. Give them a couple pay-per-views because they have good chemistry. Give them another part of the storyline. So we'll see where they go.
Just elevate their feud a little better, and I think
give them something.
Because I'm thinking, like, wait, what did they feud about? And it was just something having to do with John Cena, and that was
but at least it brought them together. And the one match that I would love both of them in, because I think they're damn good workers, like an Iron Man match or a 2 out of 3 Falls match.
2 out of 3 Falls, I'd be down for.
I don't
know if I could take a fucking 60-minute of those guys, because they're not. I'm not as invested in them as like a fucking Cena, Rollins, or Undertaker thing. They can't, because that have to be main event.
Yeah, or doing like a Shawn Michaels Bret Hart Iron Man match. I mean, you were invested. I agree with that. So this brings us to the last match of SummerSlam, the one that everyone was waiting for, the one that everyone, was talking about. Brock Lesnar with Paul Heyman in his corner versus The Undertaker, the Dead Man. Let's get into it, man. What'd you think about the match?
Oh, it was an incredible match, man. I fucking loved it. I got, they had the entrances. I got the chills when the gong hit, and then he comes out.
Yeah.
Then he does this. He gets in the ring, and then before he takes out the coat or whatever, Brock Lesnar rushes him and starts kicking his ass.
And it made it feel like Brock hates him. It's not like, oh, let me wait till you take off your jacket, and then we'll go ahead and skirmish a little bit. No, like Brock was like, I'm gonna kill you.
Yeah.
And so it gave it that good feel. 20-minute match. I think it could have gone more.
I felt like it should have.
But the main point of this whole thing, or the thing that came out of it, was the controversial finish, with Undertaker looking like he tapped on film, but the referee didn't see it, and then putting the Hell's Gate on Lesnar till Lesnar basically passed out while giving him the middle finger. So the whole concept of this was to not let either guy look weak, which they kind of did.
I think they kind of made Undertaker look weak. Yeah. And I guess you wanted to protect Lesnar, but...
Yeah. But they're making the Undertaker look weak.
Because he has to resort to low blows and shit. Yeah. Like, he went, like I said last week, Shot City, and he fucking did it. Like, fuck.
And you called it. You called it.
And that's how he won the match. I'm like, oh, man. Like,
well, and that's the thing.
Are they trying to make him a heel? I don't know.
I don't think they're making him a heel.
I mean, you can't at this point. He's too respected by the wrestling fans. Like,
unless this is coming from Undertaker himself. If Undertaker is the one that's feeding the storylines to management and saying, look, we need to make Brock seem unstoppable, let's do this, it's a different story. But you shouldn't bury one of the top guys in the industry, like WWE history. Like, you're making him look like he shouldn't come back.
I guess, yeah. I guess you want to put over your younger guys, but Lesnar was so over already. Like, and you wanted to finish this, and I get it. The controversy, it'll lead into another feud. But you could have done that with a clean win. If Undertaker won clean, cool. They're like, oh yeah, you can't beat me at a Hell in a Cell or some shit. Like,
And that's the thing. It's next is Night of Champions, which neither one of our champions. So the one after that is Hell in a Cell. Do you keep this matchup going till then, and then culminate it in a rubber match at Hell in a Cell, or do you hold it off and wait until WrestleMania 32? Because WrestleMania 32 is still more than half a year away.
Yeah.
And
I thought about that.
And another thing too is, I don't know how true this was, or I don't know how much of a work or a shoot this was, but Undertaker collapsing, right before he gets through the curtains after the match.
At WrestleMania 30?
No, at SummerSlam.
Oh.
So they have footage of Undertaker.
Oh, I didn't see this.
Falling. And Paul Heyman even mentioned it on Raw, that there was footage that he went around, he looked weak. Right before he gets to the curtain, he collapses. And he kind of drags himself into the curtain area. I don't know if this was a work, because the cameras that got it were cell phone cameras or side cameras from different people that were at SummerSlam. And it's showing the backside of it. So it's not like the cameras saw it and it seems like part of a storyline. So he could have literally collapsed.
Well, I remember they made that a deal when it wasn't a shoot, when he collapsed after the match at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
So,
well, because he had a concussion, right?
Yeah, that's why that match was so bad.
Yeah,
because he got hurt so early in the match.
But but the fact that Paul Heyman brings it up, I don't know if it's one of those where he heard about it and decides to throw it into the storylines because of this whole reality era, or it was a work. Because if it was a work, then it makes sense. If it was a shoot, or not so much a shoot, but if it actually happened, is Undertaker in that bad of a shape?
Dude, he looked good.
He looked good during the match.
Yeah.
But if he's in that bad of a shape, how many pay-per-views do you give him?
That's why you just got to give him WrestleMania.
What do you do with Brock till then? You can't let him sit.
You can let him sit.
He can't beat a Bo Dallas every week.
Have him I don't know, go and get the championship and then have Undertaker interfere.
Yeah.
With nut shots every now and then. Some shit. Like, because... What's Undertaker, 50, 51?
He
looked good, man. And if Sting could do it, he's 56 or some shit?
Yeah.
And when he came out on Raw and he was, running, then he clotheslined him over.
Yeah, when he did the Stinger Splash,
Yeah, I was like,
You know,
dude, like he's 56 years old.
He looked good.
This is crazy.
Yeah, he looked good. He even looked good. His physique was good. Rollins sold it really well though.
Yeah.
I just thought it was funny because Triple H is like a big dude and he's like this.
He's like,
he's like 87-time world champion and stuff like that. And he's like, all right, Steph, get out of the ring.
It was so funny.
I'm gonna follow you.
When the
eh.
curtain got lifted and then you could see Triple H from the corner of the screen. He's just like, he's frozen in time, and then eventually he and Steph get out, and then he starts beating up fucking
Rollins.
Seth Rollins.
I liked it though. I mean, it was a surprise. That's why I liked it. It was cool that they brought out Sting. I hope it's just a one-time match. I have a feeling that part of this whole deal about coming to WWE was somewhere along the line getting the title. That's why he's getting a title match at Night of Champions.
I hope he wins it.
I mean, they might as well give it to him. They gave Rock the championship for a few months when he was battling.
Yeah.
Cena. He took it from CM Punk. Either that or they just wanted to take it off CM Punk so badly that they gave it to The Rock.
Fucking hated him.
But I don't mind him giving it to Sting, but he can't hold it. I mean,
yeah, he can't hold it.
So it's gonna be cool to see how.
Yeah, you could give it to Sting then, and then have him put over somebody else later.
Yeah. I think though Rollins should keep the title until WrestleMania because he's doing so well as a heel champion, actually, just as a champion. Period. And to kind of take it away from him just like that, it's like you go from getting the statue at headquarters to losing the title to Sting and then kind of playing second fiddle to somebody. So
I don't know if we could keep it till WrestleMania because I feel like he's gonna lose it at Night of Champions, but that'll be like our preview show.
Yeah,
but
a lot of things are gonna happen in the next few weeks.
Yeah, we'll just have to see because man, you met Sting lose twice, but then you'll make Rollins, you'll put him over so big if you could beat Sting.
I don't see him beating Sting, to be honest with you. If they do fight, I think Sting's gonna win. You're right. He's not gonna lose 2 matches. His only 2 matches in WWE, and he's gonna lose both. It's not.
They better be paying his ass good money to get his ass kicked and not, get the crowd to be like
I hope that
chanting his name at the end or whatever.
I hope he kept enough money over his time with WCW and TNA that he doesn't have to worry about getting paid big. But Night of Champions is September 20th. We have 23 days, 20 hours, 9 minutes, and 48 seconds left until then. We have a few Raws and SmackDowns to go. There are a lot of things that are going to happen between now and then. Obviously, all the titles are going to be up for grabs because of the show and because of Night of Champions. So far, we only know Rollins and Sting. We'll see what else comes about. Overall, well, actually, before we go with that,
I'm gonna ask you something.
We were at 6-6 before the last match.
You're right.
You called Undertaker. I called Brock.
Mm-hmm.
So the count is now 7-6. I was looking at this earlier, and I actually thought that I lost by like 5 matches, but I guess I was closer than
I win. I thought I'd lose.
So the winner of this pay-per-view is Doza, but we are doing a cumulative tally, so I can come back and if you guys want to place bets on who's going to win by the end of the year, go ahead and place your comments down below and shoot us an email and let us know, and we'll be giving away cool prizes and stuff like that, and the next few weeks are gonna be fun. We're gonna make it fun here. What did you?
Oh yeah, what did you think of the finish for the Undertaker Lesnar match? Because I told you what I thought. Like, you could have just had it clean. Because I was like, what the fuck? It's like it kind of almost ruined that match for me because I didn't get it at first, and then you show the replay, like I get it, but then you could have done it clean. It would have been fine. Like Lesnar's gonna still look strong, But
I'm not sure yet. My first reaction was I didn't know what the hell was going on. Like before they even showed Undertaker tapping, like because they didn't show it when they called for the bell.
Yeah, I watched it again. They didn't show it.
I really honestly thought it was inadvertent. I thought that the timekeeper accidentally just thought that he was supposed to ring it and rang it. Everyone kind of looked around. So they did a damn good job about acting on that.
Yeah.
And then they go through once the referee starts looking at the timekeeper and Undertaker is ready for his nut shot. That's when I thought, okay, yeah, this is where it's going. Undertaker's gonna win it. At that point, I thought, okay, Undertaker's gonna win it. I didn't know how because doing a couple tombstones on a regular Raw or whatever, on a regular pay-per-view against Brock Lesnar is okay to win, but SummerSlam is one of your 4 main. It's probably the second biggest behind WrestleMania. You're not going to give him 2 tombstones and not and beat Brock. Brock gave him an F5. Undertaker kicked out. So you're not going to make them look...
F5 him through the table.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
You're not going to make them look weak, but to go with what you said earlier, it made Undertaker look weak.
Yeah.
So you're asking my opinion, by seeing what they did on Raw and like kind of pushing it. Yeah, man, I don't know how they're going to make Undertaker look stronger, because now it's like, oh, he, nut shots him every time he gets a chance. He's tapping without, people knowing, and then he wins a match. Don't make Undertaker look like one of those heel guys that gets away with a win by,
sneaks away by doing some fucking shady shit.
Yeah, Undertaker's old. I'll give it that. But he's still a legend, and he still Undertaker is the guy that would not give up on WWE no matter what. You got to give him his due. You got to give him his respect.
Oh yeah.
I don't care if it's against Brock, but you got to give him his respect. So I want to see where it goes, but I was a little disappointed in a not clean finish. But how else were they going to do it? We talked about it last week. There was no way that they were going to do a clean finish with one of them and make the other, not look weak.
You could have done it. Brock. I think they already elevated Undertaker's been around for so long. They elevated him to Brock status already, and Brock is Brock.
Yeah,
he's fucking 16 suplexes on Cena, just fucking killing Roman Reigns.
Yeah,
kills Rollins.
Yeah,
those are your top fucking guys.
Yeah,
and then you have Undertaker come around. I don't think a loss would have hurt him, like a clean loss.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
as long as the match was fucking incredible, no.
I see your point, but I just I couldn't see a clean finish. I didn't see it, and I guess neither did the universe. So it is what it is. But that was our preview or review for SummerSlam. Next up again, Night of Champions. As always, this was fun.
Yeah.
This was fun. We went a little bit longer than last time, but we love this sport. We love talking about it. We love the history. Stay tuned next week. We're going to talk about a variety of topics along with what happened on Raw and SmackDown. I want to talk to you eventually about, your favorite kind of things, like your favorite stables, your dream matches, stuff like that.
We'll
this is what we're gonna talk about in the future episodes. Next week, though, I do want to talk about one thing, and I'm gonna give this to you so we can think about it over the week.
All right.
How has social media changed wrestlers' personal characters?
Cool. I'll marry you on that.
Basically, one point that I was given was, like back in the day when you were a heel, you were a heel.
Yeah.
You weren't caught with faces, but it's changed. So, we'll talk about that next week along with other topics in Raw and SmackDown. I've been your host, OJ, along with, again, the debonair Doza. Welcome to Shoot. Thank you for listening to Shoot Sessions here in our Shoot Sessions studio.
Yes.
You can send us an email or comment at shootsessions@gmail.com. We're on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Shoot Sessions. You can check us out on all our social medias, and we're working on getting all the other social medias like Snapchat and all that stuff, so it'll be fun.
Cool. Hopefully this will be on YouTube. Don't take it down.
Yeah, they don't take it down. But it was fun. We'll see you next week. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
See you next week.
See you next week.